Welcome to the Heidi Thorne Show. I'm your host, Heidi Thorne, and in this podcast, I share my real-world self-publishing and small business experience with you. So let's get started with today's show. Barely a week goes by where I don't see, and I won't work with Amazon rant from an author on social media or some online author forum. And the latest was really interesting. So this author was doing an audiobook, and it was a pretty large audiobook. And he was looking for advice on hosting this audiobook on his website and selling direct to customers. The reason he wanted to sell direct was that he did not want to give away his book to Audible. He also wanted to control the situation and protect his business and intellectual property. I just can't see how this kind of scenario works for authors. Now let's address the situation of giving your book to Amazon or Audible. You are not giving your book to Amazon or Audible when you self-publish with those platforms. Kindle Direct Publishing, which of course is Amazon's self-publishing platform for print books and ebooks, is a non-exclusive arrangement with authors. In other words, you can offer it someplace else. Now you can make it exclusive to Kindle Direct Publishing through KDP Select and gain some additional advantages and benefits. However, you don't have to do that. With Audible, it's very similar. You can choose an exclusive or non-exclusive distribution arrangement. And in non-exclusive, you get lower royalties because there's other people in the distribution chain that usually get a slice of the pie. So you are not giving your rights to them. You're not giving your copyrights to them. You are giving them the right only to distribute your book. Your arrangement with Kindle Direct Publishing or Audible is a distribution arrangement. They are not the publisher. You are. So let's look at the tech side of this situation. In the comments, I asked the author how he would handle the situation of readers, or listeners in this case, who would want to consume his audiobook on a dedicated audiobook platform, Audible, Apple Books, Chirp. Interestingly, in his replies, that wasn't even addressed. But it's a big issue. Here's how I know that. When I had a problem with my podcast, with Apple Podcast, it was some tech glitch that I had to fix. And one of my listeners wanted to listen to a specific episode, was really excited about that. But he said that he would not listen until I got these tech issues fixed because he didn't want to download another app and didn't want to listen to it anyplace else other than Apple Podcasts. Now, the file format that this author was using was an iTunes specific, but interestingly, it didn't appear that he was going to be selling it on Apple Books in any way, which I thought was strange. The other problem that I saw from a tech aspect of this is bandwidth. That's a pretty large file, and that's really what was prompting him to even throw the question out into the author forum, was how do I handle sending this file out? Now, granted, it's not the largest file ever, but it is substantial. And the things you have to think about in that situation is, can your website handle that bandwidth? The other option that was suggested was a cloud storage. One of the other authors in the forum suggested cloud storage. And then the user could download the audio file from there. That makes sense. Those are wonderful and easy. Here's the problem with that. If they use cloud storage and the users download the files, it's great in the beginning if there's a lot of sales. But once that initial launch is over, and we've talked about that waterfall sales cycle for books where things are at their peak generally at the beginning and then it falls off precipitously, there could be charges for these cloud storage services to host and send out the file to users, and those continue forever as long as you're hosting that file there. So is he really gaining anything from self-hosting his audiobook? And this situation isn't exclusive to audiobooks. I had an author friend online who was offering her ebook as a PDF. She was selling it direct to customers. Like that audiobook file, it was huge. It was hundreds of megabytes. Hundreds of megabytes. And the reason it was that way was that it had a lot of large photos in it. And it was also in 8.5 by 11 page format. Have you ever tried to consume one of those types of files on your mobile device, like your phone? It shrunk those giant pages down to itty bitty little size. So you'd have to stretch and squeeze and pan to just read the darn thing. It could only really be properly consumed on a desktop. Another bad user experience. Here's another issue as it relates to tech. What if the customer has a problem with the file? Now, I've worked with enough authors and clients over many years. Some of them can't even complete the simplest of tasks with files. They're just not tech savvy. The hours that I've wasted over the years trying to work with authors who are not tech savvy, that's a nightmare. I am glad to turn over to somebody else other than me. So no, I do not want to self-host my audiobooks, my ebooks, my print-on-demand books. Yeah, I'll let someone else who's got the capacity to do it, like Amazon. I'm going to let them handle that. Here's where I think it gets even worse. A lot of these authors have a little bit of arrogance. The audiobook author said he wasn't going to just give up like other authors do who publish on Audible. But brushing that disrespect aside, let's look at a deeper issue that might be going on. I call it the David and Goliath myth that these people operate under. They think they're going to defeat Amazon or others like them with their miniature publishing empires. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. But I will tell you, and it's very clear from this, it should be very clear from this, that I am an Amazon, KDP, ACX, Audible fangirl. So I understand my bias. But I also realize that, as I've talked about in other places, that one day Amazon could implode just like Sears, right? It could happen. I don't think it'll happen in my lifetime, but everything's possible. If that happens, and because I have a non-exclusive distribution arrangement with them, I would be looking for another way or another platform that helps me serve my customers the best possible way. So I hope I have given you some food for thought. And if you found it helpful, I would appreciate it if you would rate, review, and subscribe to The Heidi Thorne Show on Apple Podcast or Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Podcast. I'm on all the major platforms. If you like the video better, no problem. Just subscribe to my Heidi Thorne YouTube channel and turn on the notifications so that you get an alert when there's a new video available. I would appreciate it if you would share either the podcast audio or the video with your friends on social media. And my self-published books are available, of course, on Amazon, Audible, and Apple Books. All you have to do is look for my name, Heidi Thorne, and my author page will come up, and you'll see all the books that are available there. If you'd like to connect with me, my website is very simply HeidiThorne.com. Thank you so much for listening and for your support. I'll look forward to talking with you again in the next episode, and in the meantime, have a great day.